Ransomware is a type of malware which the modern day attackers are putting in the end users computers and organizations. And basically it's a malware planted in your machine in order to get ransom money from you. And that's where it becomes more dangerous for organizations which have critical information and extremely sensitive digital data. So a malware is a malicious software which is which is created by hackers and people who have malicious intent. Now what that software does is it will get installed on your machine, or nowadays on your mobile systems as well, the iPhones and Android phones which you have. And it has very purely it has malicious intent, right? So once the software is deployed on your laptop or on your phone, then there are various ways by which it can start acting maliciously. Either it will make your system halt. It will not make you so you can't use your system if a malware is if your machine gets infected by malware. Or maybe there are some type of malwares which will start sending sensitive information from your machine. Say for example, if you're doing any payment transaction, or if you're doing any credit card transaction, so your keystrokes can be identified by the malware. That way your sensitive information can be identified, and then this malwares actually have connections, so they'll keep talking to some machines outside of your machine, where they will keep giving information away. And that's the way then you are losing a lot of your sensitive information as well. So what is happening in this is they will install this malware in your machine, and they'll ask for ransom. Now what happens is, once the malware is planted in your system, there are two ways in which the malware is going to behave. It will either encrypt your data, or it will lock your data. And in order to unlock the data, the attackers are going to ask for ransom money. Now this ransom money which is there, it's not our regular currency of money exchange. It is a parallel currency called bitcoins. Bitcoin is a parallel currency which is typically used for these malicious transactions. And the whole the main point in Bitcoin is it doesn't have any governing body, like our currencies have governing bodies like RBI, right? Rupee has a governing body like RBI, but Bitcoin they do not have any governing body, and the transactions are done peer to peer without anyone governing those transactions. So that's the major difference. And so in order to maintain the records, there are public ledgers which are maintained, and typically they are called as blockchains. So these public ledgers give reference to the transaction, and that's the way typically Bitcoin transactions are done. And so the Bitcoin's rate fluctuate anywhere between so currently the Bitcoin's rate is around $1,800 per Bitcoin, and that's where the ransom money will be asked to the end user. And typically what happens is when you're actually affected by the ransomware, you will start seeing on your screen that you are affected by ransomware, and then they will display that you'll have to pay certain amount in bitcoins in order to get your data in order to get your data unlocked or decrypted. Now for C-level people, like the CEOs and CTOs, their data is extremely sensitive and important, and that's where they can't afford to lose that particular data, and then they eventually end up paying that amount. Or for organizations which have critical information, like the recent WannaCrypt ransomware, which is widely spread across the globe. It has almost infected more than 150 countries across the globe, and more than that, it has attacked a lot of major hospitals, which I feel is very inhuman, because nowadays all the hospitals, but that's the kind of modus operandi these guys will have, and that's the way people are affected by ransomware. For large organizations, it's a very it's a methodic approach which they will have to use in order to avoid and prevent from ransomware. They'll have to have a lot of security devices. There are next generation firewalls, there are host IPS, there are anti-APT solutions. APT is advanced persistent threat. So these are some of the advanced security gadgets or security devices which they will have to implement in their infrastructure in order to protect. Now at an individual level, because we are hearing we are hearing about ransomware attacks on WhatsApp, and now everyone is talking about it. So there is very less danger for a person like you and me, but still we have to make sure that we follow certain best practices at an individual level. We update our Windows operating system quite regularly. We update our antivirus solutions. We do not click on any unknown attachments, or we do not open any emails which you do not know who is the sender, right? And that too, that's what I keep telling my mom, that whenever you receive any email, right, just carefully check the extension of that particular email. It may be quite similar to what your regular emails are, but the extension will lack some letter here and there. So that's where these are some of the typical things which you will have to observe in order to make sure that you're not getting affected by any of the ransomware attacks, or as a matter of fact any of the malware and virus attacks. So that's precisely what we'll have to do. And again, as a best practice, keep taking the backups as well.